Do you have the money, the toys, the titles, the family, even the body, yet you still feel empty? Welcome to the Warrior Mind Podcast number 722. I'm Greg Swanson. Today we're going to be discussing achieving self-actualization, the warrior's journey to fulfillment. And we're going to be using Maslow's hierarchy as a foundation, but we're going to have several twists on it. So let me ask you again, you got the money, the titles, the VP, SVP, whatever it may be, the family, the body, everything. You got everything, and yet you still feel empty. Most people think this is burnout. It is not burnout. This is something completely different. This is your soul screaming for something deeper. Our ego wants all the external things, the money, the titles, the family, the body. But our soul is there. We want something deeper. We want something more fulfilling, something more meaningful to us. So in this episode, we're not just going to be talking about success. We're unlocking the warrior's path to achieving self-actualization. And trust me, it really, really isn't what you think. We all think, oh, Maslow's hierarchy. Let me go through these hierarchy of needs and great, check them off. I got them, and now I'm self-actualized. Not so much. So why this topic matters, you may be asking, wait a second, we're talking about mental strength and warrior mindset. What the heck is this foo-foo stuff on self-actualization? Well, most high performers, here's the thing, feel success, but not significance. I know when I was in sales, I experienced that. I had 200% of my quota, did that. I'd climb mountains. I succeeded that, did CrossFit. But sometimes that significance, that deeper meaning and fulfilling was missing. And what drives high performers is that success, and that's a good thing. Yet we need to be able to balance that success with internal significance. Achievement without alignment leads to emptiness, and that alignment is based on your core beliefs, your core values, what's important to your life. So you can achieve a lot of things, but discount your morals, your values, your beliefs, and you're going to feel empty. So achieving self-actualization, it isn't a luxury. It's your next evolution. And if you've been listening to this podcast for some time, we start with the mind, right? We start with the mental strength, but then how do we get into it is through the physical part. And so now we're ready to take this journey of mental strength into the next evolution. So redefining self-actualization. If you go to Google it, it'll come up with Maslow's hierarchy. But the thing is, when we look at Maslow's hierarchy, it's a pyramid. And so we think it's linear. We think once we get the bottom level done, we're done. We check it off, we color it in. Then the next level and the next level until we get to the top, self-actualization, and then we don't have to do anything else. Well, that's not the case. It actually should be a circle. And actually, Maslow didn't draw the triangle or the pyramid. Somebody else did. He did not do that. He's not attributed to that triangle or pyramid. But so self-actualization is actually a daily practice. It's not a finish line. It's not something that you achieve and keep. It's something you strive for continually, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So when we look at true fulfillment, it equals your purpose, your presence, and your power. All those three P's add up to true fulfillment. And we can go into those deeper. As a matter of fact, when I coach with clients, we do go very, very deep into what the purpose is. How are their presence? How do they show up? And what is their power? So perhaps why you're stuck, performer persona is the mask that it holds the real you. It hides the real you. We have this performer persona. Whether it's sales, we have to achieve quota. Whether it's athletes, we have to achieve something else. Whether it's giving speech, whatever that is, that performer, it's important, but that persona masks the real you. And that's the real you is where self-actualization takes place. So what this does is the fear of being seen holds you back. So we have these personas, and we could even go really deep and talk about enneagrams and archetypes, but we'll just say that the mask you put on as a performer, a peak performer, really is the fear of being seen. And that fear holds you back. You put yourself into a box of this performer, and anything outside of it is not important. Well, Carl Jung would talk about that being your shadow self. But the fear of being seen, really, really seen, is what really holds you back. And comfort addiction keeps you small, right? We grow through pain, we grow through challenges. And again, that's one of the C's in mental strength is challenge, right? Challenge, commitment, confidence, and challenge, control, confidence, and commitment, right? Those are the C's. But when we have comfort addictions, sitting on the couch, eating lousy food, what some people may say good food, but it may be lousy, doing those things, when we're comfortable, we don't grow, we don't change, we don't self-actualize. That keeps us small. And unresolved shame whispers to you, you're not enough. That can be from childhood. I'm not going to get into all the childhood stuff, but we do have these whispers that you're not enough, you're not good enough. Why should you try this? And that all comes from unresolved shame. But all of those things, right? We're getting into some pretty deep area here, but all those things add up to why you're stuck and not progressing daily, weekly, monthly with self-actualization. So what we want to do is take a look at the warrior's fulfillment ladder, and that is Maslow's 5 levels reframed as warrior mind challenges. So you take each of those 5 levels. Again, I'm not going to go into here. You're going to do your homework and look at them. But we want to shift them from something that we check off to a challenge that we can do every single day. Each level includes a mindset shift and real life transformation. So if we look at it as action oriented, each one of those 5 levels, you want to do each one of those 5 every single day. And at the end of the day, hopefully you'll have some realization. You won't be self-actualized as if there's nothing else going to happen, but you may have achieved or had a glimpse at self-actualization. Steps to achieving self-actualization, in addition to looking at Maslow's hierarchy and turning those into challenges, actions, we can reclaim the body, right, through breath work, movement, and grounding. Grounding is something that many people are not talking a lot about, but grounding is going outside with your bare feet, standing in the grass, standing on dirt. It's really, really powerful. It helps move that energy from us into Mother Earth and move it around. There are grounding pads that you can use at your desk that plug into the outlet, which is actually the only grounding outlet, and get grounded. But breath work, you're probably familiar with. Movement, absolutely. But grounding, go outside and stand on the grass for 5 minutes and notice how good your body feels. So then we want to embrace the shadow. We talked about that a little bit, about that shame, right? We embrace it by doing some journaling about ourselves, being honest, being open with us. We want to do that inner work, whether it's shamanic journey work or whatever part you like to use, but the inner work, going inside and talking to your soul. And then there's NLP reframes that can help you shift how you look at your shadow self. Align with values, right? You want to create your personal code of conduct. I'm so big fan of a code of honor or a code of conduct because it determines where you go. If it's like the guardrails, if we don't know where we're going to go, we're going to go all over the place and anything will help us. But our code of conduct eliminates a lot of decision making in our life. And when you can create that, is really powerful. And I do this with my clients too. We will spend a significant amount of time on developing a code of honor. And based on that code of honor, that's how a person will move forward and progress. We do some shadow work. We do a lot of talking about reclaiming with the breath work and stuff. And then take bold action, right? This is that challenge part of mental strength. Step beyond the old self daily. Just do something hard daily. One thing. Do one thing difficult. It may be asking for a raise. It may be going to the gym, lifting a different weight. It may be talking to a stranger. It may be doing whatever it may be. Maybe getting a breakthrough call through me, right? Whatever that is, you want to take that bold action daily and then serve something greater than yourself, right? Legacy begins with contribution, and that can be to, a animal shelter. It could be for a soup kitchen. It could be helping the homeless. It could be something larger than that. Whatever that is, it's greater than us. It's something that you can participate on that you never can complete in your lifetime. So those are some ways of achieving self-actualization. Those are the 5 levels, right, that we're talking about. So mistakes that sabotage fulfillment is chasing hacks instead of depth, right? Instead of sitting in silence, putting on something. But I'm a big fan of using frequency to help get into state. But if we think it's going to be a hack to shortcut us being in state, then it's not being used correctly. So these hacks are fun and they're useful, but it doesn't work us towards self-actualization and fulfillment. Spiritual bypassing instead of shadow work. That could be, yeah, I should work on that someday. Yeah, I'll take a look at that someday. And we keep going on with our life. Our shadow comes up, sabotages us, and we wonder why these things are happening because we're waiting for someday to work on them. And then we wait for readiness instead of acting now. Well, tomorrow I'll do it. I'll do it when I'm motivated, right? Feelings don't count when you have a dream big enough. So this is where discipline and discipline trumps motivation every time. And if you are waiting for readiness, waiting for motivation, instead of using discipline to act now. So acting now can have a huge effect on fulfillment. And going alone instead of seeking a tribe. Yes, there are some power in having a tribe with you, in building a business, in CrossFit, in working out, and doing those things. But there are times when you go it alone and you're only dependent on yourself. You're reliant on you and only you. Then it goes deeper. Then you figure out who you really are. Because we've had people around us that pick up our slack, which is okay, but we don't realize who we really are if there's so many people helping us. So going it alone once in a while instead of seeking a tribe is really, really great. And then comparing paths instead of honoring yours, right? We look at people, oh, they're doing this, I should do that. Or I get this with coaching a lot is, hey, I want to start a business. What do you want to do? Well, I read that this is a good business and I need to use AI and I can do, and people just start doing things and then they get bored with it or it doesn't work because it doesn't align with their path. So you want to, instead of comparing paths, just honor yours. Even if it's a small path, even if you think it's a small path, honor it and work on it. So here are some advanced tools for the warrior path, right? Shamanic breath work. When I was being trained to do shamanic trance dance, there was breath work that we would do beforehand, and it created an altered state of consciousness which allowed us to tap into our soul. So that is really powerful. Time in nature, especially mountains. Go hike a 10,000-foot mountain. Go hike a 14,000-foot mountain. This case, I wouldn't say do it alone, do it with a tribe, especially that high. But take time in nature. Japanese call it forest bathing. There are so many things, right? Nature nurtures, and you want to take time weekly to get out in nature. Using Enneagram and archetypes for self-reflecting. If you know your Enneagram number, that's not enough. That's just a speck on a huge wall, because now you want to go deep into it. What does this Enneagram do for you? How does it show up? How can you progress through its levels? And the same thing with archetypes. And then if you have the ability to do some firewalking, Humblatia, rites of passage, definitely look into doing that. Ayahuasca ceremony perhaps, but all of these will help. These are advanced tools to help you achieving self-actualization and stay on the warrior's path. And daily discipline rituals, right? We want to have an AM ritual, a PM ritual, evening ritual, and a work ritual. And each of those has subcomponents to it. So here's some final thoughts, right? You weren't born to chase metrics. You were born to embody meaning and to share that meaning with the world. Achieving self-actualization isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are and having the courage to live it out loud. So here's your challenge, right? What one action will you take this week that your future self will thank you for? And if you're ready to forge your warrior path to fulfillment, let's talk. Schedule your breakthrough call today. And if you want to see the show notes on this podcast, you can visit warriormindcoach.com. While you're over there, you can find some more useful information in the form of podcasts, blog posts, and also how to request that breakthrough session. Since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.